Okay. So yeah, it's going to be in 2 sections. You're going to do the first 3 paragraphs so that I can kind of give you feedback on that, which would be the introduction and the 2 summaries. That'll be due on the 4th, which I think is next Monday. And then the other one, the complete draft, is due on the 11th. So the reason I do that is because there's probably going to be revisions, which means that if you have a complete draft on the 11th and you need revision, that'll give you a couple of weeks. I'm probably going to put up a 3rd assignment thing, which would be due on the 18th, and that would be revision of you know, the complete article. So then that would give you time to finish. We're not going to do a final, so these are the things you need to get done. If you're working on revisions of other papers, before you forget what they're about, if I were you, I would want to like fix it. If it's just a couple things to fix or like that, I would do that. So this is the first one that I've kind of posted on here. And then already the second one that follows that is here. Into complete draft, and then what I've included in this one, because I just think that sometimes you forget, you know, how am I supposed to organize this? So I just included the format in there in different colors so you can kind of see it. So the complete draft is due on 5/11. It's going to be 8 paragraphs total. Introduction, you're going to have a background on the, you know, climate change, what's going on, why is it a important issue. Your thesis sentence is going to be that thing where we're talking about, well, there's these 2 ideas, and you know, you're going to argue maybe we should do both, set up a new plan for climate change, or maybe we should do this one, or maybe we should do these things in stages, or you know, there should be some reason that you can use to justify why you decided to argue for one position over the other. If you do that, or if it's going to be a plan, then maybe what's first, what's second, and why are you doing that? So that's your kind of an argument thesis. And then you introduce your 2 articles, you summarize each one, which I'd say be about a half page each. And, you know, sort of the big ideas, the important stuff, the important claims, some evidence, maybe the important evidence. These could also be large paragraphs because in that way you've covered kind of everything that they were presenting. Then when you get to the body paragraphs, you're going to make some claim about, I don't know, whatever article that you want to talk about, and bring in some research. And then beside the research, you've got to have in-text citations always. So it's going to be 3 body paragraphs to support, you know, whichever one you think. You might have 2 body paragraphs on the one article you feel is more important, maybe 1 body paragraph on the one that's not so important. Depends on how you want to do it. You can organize this your own way because it depends on the materials or the research you find. And then you're going to have a counter-argument. So the counter-argument considers that there might be some ideas out there that are better than yours. So if you were doing, say, coal, reduction of coal, and say education, those were 2 great ideas, but then somebody else, if you just, let me move from this for a minute, if we were just looking in the files and we're looking at other ideas, which will come up, I think, in theory. So if we were looking at where it says climate research peer ideas, if we went to those and say you wanted to look at the super plants, you wanted to look at the rainforest. Let's say we clicked on the rainforest just because people like that one. And we find out, you know, there's a real issue here. We know oxygen comes from there. We know diseases come from there. It's a real issue. So we might say, looking at this particular idea, and we would maybe just use this article. This might be enough information. I don't really know how long this one is. But let's say there's enough information here that we could, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, that we could, when we do our, so when we do our counterclaim, we have enough information there. We don't have to find another article. It's like that was enough. But it could be you have to do one more article there because maybe that's just sort of an introduction article. And then you have your conclusion. So in this one, and we'll look at that in a minute, you're going to have a concession or refutation, but this is just an overview. So you have a format that breaks it down. So you have 1, 2, this is 3, 3 more is 6, this is 4. Wait a minute, did I count it right? 6, 7. Yeah, counter argument 7, conclusions 8, and your works cited page. My suggestion is that you guys use that in mybib.com because it's really easy. If you're using a database on the website, you don't have to worry about this. But I think a lot of your articles are going to be from Google or somewhere else, and they're not going to make citations for you. So you need to be able to do that. And this mybib.com does it real well. So if we looked at the format, which is in more detail, this research citation thing coming up in a minute. Nope, done with that one. I did want that one, but no, I don't. Okay, let's be here. There. Okay, directions are under the research articles. So I have an argument format. I look at that. It's going to be the same thing, but not in this detail. So this is lots of detail. I just put it very briefly in the assignment so you could remember, oh yeah, that's right, I have 8 paragraphs. And in this particular piece, we move this for a minute. In this particular piece, we just the details. So introduction, hook, got to be interesting, stat, quote, anecdote, background information, why is this serious? Short 1-sentence summary of each of the 2 ideas, or actually, I think just 2 of the articles, the 2 articles. Your thesis statement, which says which idea you think is better, more effective, better results, cheaper, quicker, whatever you want to say, or we're going to use both as part of our plan. And then the summary paragraphs introduce each article in detail. And so you have a topic sentence, author title, state the main claim, produce the evidence, put that in there that's just from the article, concluding sentence about why you think this one's a good idea. You have 2 of those. And then this other stuff, the body paragraph, again, it's the structure of it that I kind of put in here for you. So format, topic sentence, which is your one claim or detail, or could be some evidence that you want to add to. And then add your research, concluding sentence on that. You've got 3 of these. Counter-argument, which is where you have to consider the other side, which is your concession, which is why you say, well, when we look at those other ideas, hey, maybe superplants is really good. So, and you're talking about why that might be good, so you concede it a bit. But then you come back to your side and you say, however, whatever you feel, make something, like well, it's a very good idea. They haven't developed it yet. The possibilities seem to be really strong, but until they actually get some proof that they can create these plants and, the timeline on producing enough that we could drop these things in the ocean or wherever they want to put them, then everything's test tube. Everything's a theoretical thing. Yeah, lots of promise. How many years? How much money? All of that. So it's not that you're saying it's a bad idea. You're just saying, well, in terms of we have to get something done now, maybe this is too long. And then you have your conclusion, the 2 parts. Remind people of, kind of what you were talking about, your main claim, and then this other half is, why is this important in the long run, and sort of bring us out into this context of how this all works. And these are in a detailed way. This brings you the format, tells you what goes in each piece and concluding sentence. So, and then your works cited, where you have to have 6 sources minimum. If you have 8 sources, that's great. 4 sources, not so good, because 2 of the sources are going to end up being your your two articles. And here's the outline, kind of the same thing that I put in there, that assignment, just to, boil it down for you. It might do things like, hey, when you do the body paragraphs, got to have transition into it. So that's that part. Get out of this one. And then, let's see. In terms of, if I can get up this way, it's underneath. Well, what I want is underneath. So let's see. It's going to hover over it. Okay. I'm going to stop this for a second so I can just come back here. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're back here. I'm going to show you. I couldn't get to that screen, so that's why I was doing it. This is the mybib.com thing. And so here's one. Let's say we're looking at supercharged plants. So we had made our first citation, and then we decided, well, let me see. If I go look up supercharged plants. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing again just because I need to go there and make a new. All right, there. Sorry, it's jumpy, but that piece that goes over the top of my screen, I can't get underneath it. Don't know why. Okay, so here we go. Back to that. Okay, let's say, oh, that's nice. Okay, so let's say I want something about super plants. So I'm going to type that in. Here's a bunch of stuff. Let's say I looked at these before. I'm going to go all the way. I mean, really, really something that I'm the best plants for carbon sequestration. So these would be things that actually pull in lots of carbon. Trees do some good things. These particular trees do some good things. So we could be looking at trees. What plant converts the most CO2? What does that say? Hardwood trees. Okay, so it would be great to plant trees if we could. Maybe we want to look at that. So let's just click on this one. And it's going to bring us to that article. Science focus sounds pretty good. I like that. So, and let's say I look in this piece and it's looking pretty good when I go through it. Lots of good information. Yeah, we'll just say it does. Okay, because it looks really small. Wow, it's trying to sell me stuff. So I copy this piece, which would be nice. I'm going to copy that and then, okay. Yep, I want to go there. So I'm going there to my bib. And it already sees that I have a couple of things done here. But at this point, I want to create another citation because it's about the same kind of stuff. So I think I want to add that. So I go create citation. It's a website, so I'm going to click put that in there. If this weren't a website, if it were a video or anything else, I have my choices here. News article, I click on that one. All those things. Isn't that nice? Okay. So I'm going to put my URL back in there and I go search. Here's the information they found. They say proceed with caution. So this one may not be very credible. Let's just say I have one piece of information I want out of it. There was a statistic I really liked. I need the statistic. Yeah, I'm not going to use much of the article, but there's something I wanted. So, okay, I'm going to do it anyway, even though it says proceed with caution. So I click on this thing. It says, well, what about a web author? Does it have that? And I go, well, I could look, but if I could get under there, but I can't. Yep, I can't get under there. All right. No, it doesn't. We'll just say we looked it up. No. Okay. So I have, wow. It's only got this, just the date published. It doesn't have the date accessed. It doesn't have the names on it. So I need to go back to that, and I see this is what it looks like. Are some plants better than others at sucking carbon dioxide? It's got the Science Focus magazine, and it's got the URL, but that's all I've got. So at this point, I might think, I'm not really sure if I like this because it doesn't have a date of publication. I'm not sure I like that. Date of access, it doesn't have that. So, I mean, well, of course it's going to be today, but there's no publication date on it. So notice it changed my citation and put the access date down, but I don't have a published date by it. So I may decide not to use it. Yeah, close it. So I'm not going to do it. I decided that was crappy, so I'm not going to use that one. Let me stop this for a second. Okay. All right. So, okay. Do you guys need me to show you how to make that into a works cited page? You want to see that part? You're good? You don't need it? Okay. All right, Tamel, you need it? You know how to make a works cited page?
I should be fine.
Okay.
There's a lot of info that you've already put out on it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's already online, but I had people asking questions this morning, so I thought, well, maybe I better go back through it. I mean, maybe just nobody understood it. So yeah, so basically you have ideas from other people that'll help you when you do your searching. If you found your ideas, great. If you're working on some other papers and this one, then you might want to think about using some of those other people's ideas, maybe one of them. Don't spend forever doing research because I think that's going to cost you in the long run in terms of your time. So, you know, the main thing I want to see is not so much the information, because it is a writing class. I want to see that you can write this essay, bring in enough information to make it a valid argument, that kind of thing is really what I'm looking at. So, okay. Any questions on this one? Nope, you're all good with that? All right, so I don't really have much more to talk about today. We've looked at the research paper itself, the structure. We've looked at how to get things from it. We've looked at how to make citations. The other papers you guys are working on, so, you know, if you have questions on those, the best idea is just to get those papers in, you know, or we can maybe talk on the phone if we need to do that. You know, just get them in, get those things done. And then again, if you get a P, it's a pass, then that means you got a B. If you get an HP, you got a high pass. So if you're not sure what you're doing and you just turn the paper in anyway, let's say you have revised, I mean, my notes are not bad, but let's say you take the notes, you fix it up, and you send it back to me. If it's another revise, I'll just say, hey, look, that was all good, but you didn't do this thing. And if it's close, or if you could get a high pass on what you got already there, I'll just say, hey, look, if you changed it this much, this thing looks like it could be a high pass. So for a couple of people I know, I put that on their paper. This is looking pretty good. I'm gonna, it needs these things fixed, but if you fix those things and this other stuff, it would be high pass. So kind of your motivation, what you want to do. Okay. So I'm going to hang on here for a while. I'm probably just going to stop the recording because in the last meeting, people just came on and came off. That's what sort of happened. Ask their questions. Okay. So that's pretty much all we need to sort of talk about today.